Mr. Marshall?
You sniffed the horse shit, didn't you?
The roads.
The road, see? I told you it
walk
worked.
around this way with me.
How much
Come
do
on
we...
now, lead the way. I'm waiting.
Okay. Hurry up, Mr. Marshall. We got to go to roads. And you're
Come
bloody
on.
take too long.
What's too long?
You're horsey. Very slowy.
Paris is a diva. I don't know what to tell you.
What does that mean, diva?
It means she eats way too much hay and lays down too much.
So, when did you become a U.S. Marshal? Marshal?
Well, it was a few years back now. It's after I came down from Canada, tracking people on the frontier.
Ah.
It was there I learned to hate the mud. There's only one thing I hate more than mud.
What?
Well, two. Dirt and livestock theft.
Dirt and livestock theft. Okay. So, Mr. Marshall, you've solved many murders, huh?
I've serviced. Yeah, I have. Many.
What was the most famous one?
Well, actually, it involved livestock theft. There was the horse eaters.
People who eat horse?
Yep.
Why would people eat horse meat?
There was a cult. They got shot dead at the end of it.
Ah, cult. Simon nearly joined the cult.
You don't want to join a cult, son.
Why not?
I never joined the cult. I don't know what the hell he talking about.
Cults are bad.
Why the cult are very bad, sir?
Because they take you in, they make you believe all sorts of shit that ain't true. And it's usually to satisfy one person's ego.
Oh.
I once dealt with a cult in Van Horn once.
Cult in Van Horn.
Yep.
So, you as Marshal, what is your jurisdiction?
Everywhere but Mexico. Well, in Canada. And the water.
Oh. Your horsey is very slow, Mr.
And
Marshal.
anything, and not anything that's too low for my pay grade.
So, Mr. Marshal, how many other marshals are there? Or is it just you?
There's a few of us going around.
I could be a very good marshal.
Could you?
I could.
All right,
Yeah.
horse shit. We'll see what you got today.
Okay.
Marshal horse shit.
On a marshal horse shit? Yeah. If I become
I
marshal.
don't know if that. I don't really know if that does much for the Marshall brand. You know what I mean?
That's why Marshal Khan will work.
Marshall Khan could maybe. We'll see how it goes.
Making my way to the roads with my friends in the U.S. Marshal. Got a friend in me. Sorry.
Your farting's forgiven.
Thank you. Lord, what?
Why in damn name we going to roads?
I don't know. Let's see what happens. What adventure leads us, bro. We might become marshals.
I don't become no bloody marshal.
I know, but we just see how much we get paid and, be corrupt, okay?
That's correct.
I don't know why the law just can't stay away from me,
He might put a good word in for you to become a sheriff or something.
We have arrived, Mr. Marshal. We are here in Rhodes.
Take a big whiff of that hand, take a little taste, and tell us where the road's pointing next.
The road is pointing to the office. We should find the sheriff office. Speak to the sheriff.
Oh, hold on, take a taste first. I didn't see you take a taste.
No, it's
Come on now.
Mr. Marshal, I've already tasted it. I don't need to put my finger back in mouth.
Well, that was a while ago. That was a whole town over. Come on now.
Okay. What's going on?
Shooting at the saloon, I think.
Oh, Mr. Marshal, they're shooting at the saloon.
Marshal Zebediah Reeker. The what?
Saif Ali Khan, marshal in training.
You're not a marshal. This is horse shit. That's
Oh.
his name.
No, my name's
I'm
Saif Ali
Hazel.
Khan.
I'm currently trying to open up the parlor house.
All right, Hazel. You hear anything about a murder, Hazel?
No.
Seen
Not that I
Sheriff
know of.
Adams around?
I was actually coming to check. Oh, he's right behind you.
Where's he at? Over
He's
there?
going into the office, yeah.
I told you we should go to
Alright.
the sheriff's office, Mr. Marshal.
Thank you, Hazel.
Thank you,
No
Miss
problem.
Hazel.
For that horse shit, you led us right to him.
Told you.
And you doubted me. You doubted the fact that eating horse shit would give you premonition. All right. Where you at, Adam?
How you doing, Marshall?
How doing?
All right. What about this murder? This here's horse shit.
This is horse shit.
He's my squire for the day.
Pleasure to meet you, horse shit.
I've called him horse. You gonna ask me why I call him horse shit?
There's so many people in here.
No, I'm just going to respect
And
the
what's
fact
your
that you call
favorite?
him horse shit, sir.
Well, I made him put his hand and mix together horse shit
Okay.
and get premonitions. We're following his premonitions
Yes.
right now.
And the premonitions have led us to this here to talk to you,
That's
Mr.
true. They
Sheriff.
have.
Are you a deputy?
All right. If you don't mind, Marshall, I just hired somebody on.
What's
just
that?
give me one moment.
You asked me,
Marshall.
ma'am.
Howdy,
I'm
howdy.
sorry?
Did you ask me something?
No, I didn't.
Okay. Oh, you did.
Although, you did just telegram me actually.
Wait, who are you?
Roisin O'Hara.
Oh, Raisin.
Roisin, please.
Yep.
Russian?
Have you met horse shit over here?
Hi,
This is my
Uh,
squire
Roshan.
for the day.
No, I haven't.
my name is Saif Ali Khan, otherwise known as Horseshit to this guy. Mr. Marshall called me Horseshit. But, you know,
Well, if the marshal says your name is Harshit, then I
How'd you
can
get the
confirm
nickname
your name is
Horseshit?
Harshit.
He sees the readings in the horse stump.
I have come all the way from India. Okay.
Congratulations on making it, first off.
Wow,
Thank you.
that's quite
It's
a
a
ways,
hell of a
actually.
ride,
Yeah.
yeah.
Actually, that's impressive.
I came on
Well
boat. Came on boat.
Well,
Holy hell,
congratulations.
Thank you.
I lived.
All right, sir. Is the
Here's all
horse shit?
stuff
Horse shit's
going
good
on.
to hear all this, yeah,
Yes, sir.
Squire.
Am I?
Yes, horse shit's good to hear it.
Oh,
All right, perfect.
oh,
Deputy, if you kind of want to go over what we went through, that'd be perfect.
Yes, I can. Actually, give me just one moment here.
I'll just give you the brief kind of how it started. We were in Rhodes. Two Valentine deputies came up here and said that someone got killed at, you know, Constance. She has a manor down in Saint Denis.
Constance.
I think that's her name, right?
Constance Carset, yes.
Yeah,
Okay.
Corset. Somebody got murdered at her manor, and we kind of looked. They gave us their report. We kind of looked it over, and it didn't really have too much. Well, we kind of frequent down in Saint Denis, so the next day we went down there to kind of see we could get a little bit more information. That way, you know, when I reached out to you, I didn't want to come to you and just be like, "Hey, there was a murder and that's it." I didn't want to come to you empty-handed. So we went down there. We talked to a few of the people that live there just to kind of get a feel for the situation, and honestly, seems a little bit fishy. The stories ain't adding up, but there was definitely somebody dead in a bathtub, and there was a woman with big bosoms and revolvers blasting.
big bosom. Wow.
Yep. So you know me, I was very intrigued by the situation. We felt like we needed to find. out a
Oh,
little
you
bit
with
more.
big bosoms. And
Wait, I'm
Yeah.
thinking I'm having
I'm
premonition,
not
Marshall.
surprised, Adams.
Mr. Marshall,
listen.
What's
premonition.
your premonition?
How big was the bosom on a scale of 1 to 10?
Well,
That's
it
not
depends
a
on the woman,
premonition.
to be
You
honest.
know that.
Oh, sorry.
Pretty big bosoms. I seen them myself.
How big?
Yeah, I mean, Phyllis's were pretty impressive, to be honest.
A Phyllis.
Yes.
Phyllis?
That sounds like a troublemaker's name to me.
Well, I do have reason to believe she's not being entirely honest with us, sir.
That right.
Yes. If you'd like to review the file, it's incident number 44. But in summary, as Sheriff Adams said, we went to the manor yesterday to have a conversation with any potential witnesses. We spoke with a few members of the staff as well as Phyllis with the large bosom and
Very large
Constance
bosom.
Carset.
You're talking
And-
fast. Slow down.
Sorry, it's the Irish in me. So we spoke with them. We gathered a few statements. Initially, one of the butlers, Sammy, said that he identified an individual.
Don't know
known as
Sammy.
Did
Hollywood.
you say you were Irish?
Yes, I am.
I'm standing over here. Continue.
Why?
Do you have a poor history with Irish women, Marshall?
I
Raker?
absolutely do.
Irish people are
And their
great.
brothers.
And their brothers?
Oh,
I feel like I'm missing a whole story. What happened with you and the Irish woman?
I'll tell
and
you
brothers?
later.
Okay, sorry.
Where can I find this
well,
file in the room? Where's that?
Incident 44. It's going to be in the cabinet right behind me, sir.
So, ma'am, you are
Right here.
immigrant
I'll
too,
grab
huh?
it for you, sir.
Yes, I am.
Wow, nice to meet another
I mean,
immigrant.
if it makes you feel any better, Marshall Raker, I'm very happily married to the man that is standing behind me at the moment.
That's
Oh,
excellent.
God.
But do you have brothers?
Here you go,
No,
sir.
I'm an only child.
Well, that seems a little
Do you
bad.
have any cousins?
Good question.
None that are in this country.
Okay, good. Good to know. I noted down, Mr. Marshall.
Hi, I'm the husband.
Hello, husband.
Howdy.
Who the hell's Leroy Skinny?
He's a Valentine deputy, sir.
Oh, he's a very witty man, Leroy Skinny. I beat him up, when I was doing my sheriff training.
There were
Um,
3 women of ginormous stature.
What's going on in there?
Yeah.
Stature is what you mean? With
Yeah.
heaving bosoms.
Look around.
Yeah.
Yes,
They were
that would
floating
be-
around, just making themselves known and flirting with Mr. Skinny.
Yes, it's
Who is
incident
Mr.
44.
Skinny?
Mr.
Uh,
Skinny is Leroy. He's a deputy at Valentine.
Yes, and the
As soon as we
deputy whom-
heard big bosoms and women with guns,
We
I
was
had to rush
offered
down there.
tea, and it was lovely when we received it from a mulleted butler who was pretty shit in cooking steaks.
yes,
chit
this initial
chat was
report
about
written by Violet
Miss
Bell.
Corset having another husband be killed on her wedding night. Apparently, Mrs. Corset is on her 5th husband now, all of which have died of
Fifth
suspicious
husband?
circumstances.
Wow.
Holy shit.
This was a
Mhm.
body in the tub and looked like it had been drained of all its blood. The air smelled of pennies. The room was covered in ill-attempted clean of the bloodstains. Apparently, the 3 ladies said Mrs. Corset was aghast with the situation and went to bed for the night to calm her nervous disposition. They also said something about how Miss Corset was saving herself for marriage, which I asked how that could be because she's been married 5 times. They told me that her hoo-ha gets rebirthed.
yep.
Wow. I heard about these things.
You've heard about a hoo-ha getting rebirthed?
Yeah. In India, we have Kama Sutra.
Mm, mm,
Tells you everything.
So yes, that was the initial report taken by Deputy Bell of Valentine. Deputy Skinny also added his statement when we
Uh-huh.
went to speak with him yesterday. You can see that below hers.
Yeah.
And then I also added these statements we took from witnesses and victims in the involvement section. So you can see them attached to each individual's name there.
Uh-huh.
Basically, the gist of it is that Sammy, one of the butlers,
Really big bosom.
is he identified one of the individuals as Hollywood, and he said there were only
In
two.
Hollywood, he owns the gunsmith here.
Mhm.
Yep.
He said that there were only 2 assailants and then a nun named Mother Morag. So 3 in total. Hollywood, Mother Morag, and an unidentified individual. Miguel, the other butler, seemed to sort of corroborate the story, but was hesitant to definitively identify Hollywood. Although he did kind of initially agree with it, and then was like, well, maybe I don't want to put a name to it. I don't want to throw anyone under the bus. So we questioned Miss Corset and Miss Franklin Phyllis, and according to Skinny's statement, Phyllis identified Hollywood to him. But when I questioned Phyllis about it, she couldn't definitively identify anybody in the room. She and Miss Corset said that there were 5 people in the room, not 2. So all of that sort of didn't really match up. We asked Miss Corset if the name Hollywood meant anything to her. She said that they had spoke very briefly in passing just on the street. And other than that, had only had one conversation, which was professional in nature, about gunsmithing work. However, just a couple hours ago, if that even, I saw her on the back of Hollywood's horse, unaccompanied, wearing a rather revealing dress and speaking to him in pretty familiar tones and laughing, which strikes me as odd for somebody who's never really had a personal conversation with a fella in her life.
Hmm.
And additionally, when we were questioning the women, Sheriff here was talking to Sammy outside because Sammy started, well, maybe it wasn't Hollywood, seemed a bit wishy-washy. And when Sheriff pressed him, he said, yeah, it was. So I think it seems likely that there is some sort of reason that people in the household are trying to conceal Hollywood's identity from us. And that
Why
he
would
is
they do
likely our
that?
main suspect. Well,
Why would
um,
Hollywood be the main suspect?
Hmm.
Hollywood is the only one definitively identified,
So we think
including
he's
by...
just murdering people out of jealousy? All her husbands?
Well, I don't know about all her husbands, but this one, yes, potentially. They had only known each other for a day, got married, very whirlwind sort of thing, and the
One
source
day?
says William Armstrong. Yes, they
William
met earlier in the
Armstrong.
day. He proposed. They got married. Considering she has a pattern of losing husbands, it is a bit suspicious. And Hollywood, according to witnesses, is in love with Miss Carset. My theory is that she probably reciprocates this, and for some unknown reason is trying to protect him.
The plot thickens.
Well,
Where
how
you
does her
draw-
hoo-ha get rebirthed if he's the one murdering them all? Now I don't understand.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Marshall
see,
Weaker, I don't have the answer for that one.
It must be
unfortunately.
some
So-
Well, I
scientific
saw
explanation.
a post up in Valentine. Now this sounds, if I was, listen, I thought this post was crazy a little while ago. Okay? Talking about vampires and the supernatural and being a specialist at hunting them. Now I'm thinking I should hire that person.
I know him! Hank Silver! Vampire Hunter!
Well, go send him a telegram. Go on now.
Okay.
Come on,
So-
horseshit.
Okay.
another thing, right, is
Where is
the
that?
nun that also goes as
Nun?
Mother Morag.
What type of
She's
name
the
is
one
that?
I couldn't tell you.
Morag is Scottish, I believe.
Really?
Mother Morag.
I'm
she's
not
a nun.
positive, but I believe so. Yes.
So she initially gave, her statement to Mr. or Deputy Skinny,
Mhm.
and when we went down there, we found out that Miss Corset tried to banish her from her home and was helping Hollywood get into the room to kill Mr. William.
Yes, according to Sammy, Morag let the assailants into the home, guided them up to, and Phyllis corroborates this actually, guided them up to the room where Miss Carset and Mr. Armstrong were to consummate their marriage, and instructed them to shoot Mr. Armstrong. So she is potentially facing a conspiracy charge.
That was my next question, Roisin, was do we have any doctoring records of the injuries?
As
No.
far as we've been told, the only person that was injured, other than potentially the assailants, was Phyllis, who was treated by a Irma-Jean Michelle Walker.
Fine.
The Sammy says that one of the assailants was already down, and that he shot down another by the time he started shooting.
Shot is what you're
Yes.
saying.
But
Right.
Phyllis and Miss Carset insist that none of the assailants were harmed and left without a scratch. But when I questioned Sammy, he said that they were definitively down, incapacitated, seriously injured. And when he was checking on the ladies that he claims were shooting, Miss Carset and Phyllis say no one else did. When he was checking on them and Mr. Armstrong, at some point, those individuals who were injured disappeared. Morag, by all accounts, was not injured and could very well have gotten those men out on her own potentially.
We're shooting. That's what I'm hearing.
The moral of the story is a bunch of stories, they ain't adding up.
Mm,
Potential Hollywood,
There's a lot of
And-
holes in
and
Carset's
potential
statement.
none helping these people get the husband because
Damn.
she was banished from the home.
I agree, Sheriff.
And women with big bosoms with revolvers. That's important.
Oh,
Yes.
well, of course I didn't miss that part.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
didn't miss that part.
And
either.
the hoo-ha rebirth.
Yeah, my horse Ace couldn't get down there fast enough. I had to get down there.
Reminds me of the book somebody wwrote about me.
Do you
Well,
have
never
a
mind. I
drawing?
should never said that. I
Yeah,
should've
you should
said
never
that.
have brought that up.
So sorry.
Are there any drawings
Well,
of the big bosom?
let me put it this way.
Not in the file, no.
I think I'm gonna have to take a trip down to Saint Denis. I think that's what this is called for.
Yeah.